All right. So once again, it's not during the day, and once again, the light is quite poor, and I apologize for that, but here I am. I am hoping to keep this one a little bit shorter. My plan had been to go on to talk about structure and talk about how you delight the reader and get into their senses through structure. But somebody in the comment section asked me about id lists. They'd gone looking. Congratulations, well done. Thank you for doing your homework. Had gone looking for id lists, but most of what they were finding was related to romance. There are a couple of reasons for that. One reason for that is the tropes in romance are really, really well defined. The readers know what they want. They talk about what they want. They talk in trope terms, and the writers know what they are delivering. So it is very, very id heavy, and because of Freud, right? So when Freud was talking about the id, he was talking about primal desires. So it's natural that a lot of people would think about sex. But that isn't the only primal desire. It isn't the only urge. It isn't the only need or want that human beings have. So when we're talking about id lists, for this purpose, we are talking about anything that delights your senses, that draws you in, that makes you feel alive, that you want more of. And yesterday I started talking about sticky id stuff. So stuff that really brings you back into the manuscript because for you, it lands in a certain place and brings you delight. And that's what we want to do. We want to be in there lighting the brain up, right? Everybody's id. I'm not starting again. This is the third time I've started over, and you're just going to have to accept the fact that I'm blah, 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 blah. Everybody's id list is going to be different, and there is no way that you are going to deliver an id list that speaks to everyone. But there are certain universalities. Jennifer Lynn Barnes, who is the person who gave the talk about writing your id list at the Romance Writers of America, talks about writing your id list and making your id list. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give away one of the beautiful notebooks that I bought to bring to Vegas with me this year, but of course I couldn't come. I'm going to send this to somebody who will use it to start creating their id lists. If you're not going to create an id list, you can't have it. I'll ask a question at the end of the video. So, what is a useful way to think about things that delight the senses and draw you in without getting too bogged down in how huge this is, because it's really huge. So if you want to break it down into people, place, and things, because tropes for your own genre, you're going to know a lot about tropes for your own genre. I hope you know a lot about tropes for your own genre anyway. I went and had a look at a few of my friends' walls to see what it is that they are doing. You know, Pinterest is another really great place to go to look for id stuff that delights your senses and that you want more of. And I bet this person will recognize themselves. So this is a friend of mine who routinely posts stuff about beautiful, luscious, historic gowns. They tend to be, silk, brocade, embroidered, lush. She also posts about, I wrote things down, she posts about fairies. There's a lot of Art Deco stuff on her wall, tree archways, things that I love, old tracks in the woods that are covered by trees with the dappled sun coming in, dress up of all kinds, cute animal videos, dance, stairwells, abandoned buildings. Do you recognize yourself? And then I went to another friend who curates their space a lot like I curate my space. And their space is all about fly fishing, rivers, flies, surfing, waves, anything to do with water, fishing, surfing. It's what absolutely floods his wall. Occasionally there's stuff about beer, homemade food, eating well, and spending time with friends. all of that is id stuff. All of that is id stuff that could go in your book because it delights the senses. I had to think about my own. I love anything to do with archaeological digs, museums, ancient monuments, Clavos studded doors, really old doors with the ironwork and the big nails that stick out, Cotswold stones, pop surrealism, weapons, markets, street fairs, Rube Goldberg devices, knobs, buttons. But then I started thinking about how to break this down so that it doesn't become too overwhelming. So what have we got in terms of place? So for me, did we do people as well? We did people, hooray. Tropes, id tropes that I love. Geniuses, especially geniuses who don't know that they are geniuses. Mad scientists, I love me a good mad scientists. Rule breakers, gamblers, not necessarily table gamblers, but people who would risk it all, who go outside and break the rules in order to make something happen. Adventurous, kick-ass women, rebels, druids. I can hear John saying, there's no such thing as druids. Druids, sorcerers, ugly ducklings, ghouls, empaths, loners. That was just me sitting down and writing as fast as I could the things that I love. People that I love in novels that are id related. They just call to my senses and I take great delight in them. Places, some of these I've already met. Hidden passages, hidey holes, priest holes, Gothic architecture, markets, farmers markets, seasonal markets, artisanal markets. The more stuff and colour there is, the better. Books, bookstores, ladders that go up walls in bookstores, stacks of books, pens, quills, parchment paper, anything to do with books I love. And things, what kind of things do I love? So I love I'm checking the time, Rube Goldberg devices of all kinds. So if I see something on somebody's feed that someone has set up, a ball that goes through a series of steps and knocks the cup, that does the thing, that whirls it, that goes over. I will always watch those. I will also watch street food, making street food. I will also watch ceramics, people making beautiful ceramic things. I particularly like watching the ryoku stuff, with very, very hot ovens and then there's the I love that. So steam, beautiful things, kimonos, Japanese temples, knobs, pulleys. So I love the inside of the TARDIS is all knobs and pulleys. Boxes of all kinds of boxes, especially little boxes that are all piled up together. All kinds of materials, hidden places in desks I love. So I got a few books off my shelf because I like to remind myself of beautiful things and excite the senses before I start writing. So this was one. This is a book that I often go to. It makes me think of Baba Yaga kind of place. Probably some people won't like this, but beautiful, beautiful beetles. There are just some stunning, stunning pictures in here, and they're connected to art and jewellery. I love jewellery. You can't tell because you see me when I'm sitting in my front room. I collect a lot of art. I have a lot of art up in the house and a lot of art that isn't up in the house. And as I started to say, I love markets and I love books and I love books about markets. And I love some of the beautiful, beautiful temples. Somebody wants to go to Marrakesh. I'd really like to go to Marrakesh. Yes, so we are looking for people, places and things that delight your senses that can go in your books. Id stuff that can go in your books. You should have id-related plot tropes as well, but they are genre-specific. I am going to recommend She is very, very good, and she comes at tropes with a little twist and talks about how to use your tropes. She made one that was specific to horror, which I haven't read yet. That's on my list. And apparently she's got one, I pre-ordered her romance one because I'm currently writing steamy romance. So I will get that when it comes up. I hope this is useful for id lists. We made it 10 minutes, yes! Okay. Being on time, lists, checking things off lists, little baggies, rocks, obviously. All right, in order to win this beautiful, beautiful, I think it's beautiful, notebook that will turn into your id notebook, I want you to tell me a people, place, and thing id list for you in the comment section on the Facebook page. All right, bye.